Let's go to James in Maidstone. James, good evening.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call. I've got a question about a potential constructive dismissal slash sort of discrimination with my employer. So over the past year, there's been so much that they've done essentially, but it's the last few weeks that's sort of been the point that's just pushed me over the edge.
Okay, James, just start by telling me what you do.
So I'm sort of compliance, quality stuff.
How long have you worked for your current employer?
I started in September 22.
Right. And what's the issue? Give me the main issue that is causing you to think that you've been discriminated against or might claim constructive dismissal.
So one of the big things was that when I tried to get reasonable adjustments for my mental health, the head of HR basically said, I don't believe that you have mental health unless you can show me a package of your medication.
No.
Even though I had like a doctor's note and things like that, and told them when I first started the job, and and I raised a grievance at the time.
Oh, that's shocking. Is this don't name them, please, but is this a big organisation?
It is a big organisation, but they still claim to be like a family-run business.
Okay.
It's still.
And roughly how many people do they employ?
Probably about 200.
I'm guessing it's in the care sector, am I right?
No.
Okay.
Accountancy.
Interesting, because if they have 200 people, I wouldn't normally expect there to be a head of HR. I'd expect there to be an HR business partner or an HR manager, but head of HR makes it sound bigger than 200 people.
Yeah, they've just been made redundant, so they won't have for much longer.
Okay. So do you mind me asking, what is your mental condition?
It's depression and borderline personality disorder.
What adjustments were you asking them to make?
I wanted a 3-month reduction in hours for a temporary period so that I could basically compress the hours. So I'd still do the same hours, but over 3 days rather than 5 days, that I could seek sort of treatment over the other 2 days.
Okay, I mean, that's quite a compression of hours, isn't it? Lots of people do 5 days in 4, but
I was willing to
5
negotiate.
days in 3. Okay. Did you have medical evidence? You said you had a note from your doctor. Did your doctor back up you doing compressing 5 days into 3?
They did, yeah. They said it would be beneficial and help.
And that was in the letter that you showed the head of HR?
Yeah.
Yet the head of HR said, I don't believe you have a disability.
Yeah.
Goodness me. Well, you clearly have a claim for breach of failure to make reasonable adjustments here. With one caveat, of course. I'm not sure 5 days to 3 days is doable. Am I being a little old-fashioned here, thinking you can't do a 5-day week in 3 days? And if it's not doable, it's not a reasonable adjustment.
It would have been doable, but I did say to him, like, I can negotiate on it. I can do like 3.5 or 4, like whatever. I was willing to discuss it.
Okay, fine. So you've got a claim there for failure to make reasonable adjustments. Are you still working for the company?
I am, yeah.
So you haven't suffered any financial loss yet because you've not suffered any loss of earnings?
No, not yet. But I was thinking of resigning because the last I've had meetings with the head of operations, and he basically has been lying to me, and he admitted it. But that's a whole different story about sort of playing that.
Let's just stick to the one issue if we could.
Yeah.
When was it that the head of HR said to you, I don't believe you? How long ago?
About 2 months ago.
Okay. Have you put in a grievance?
I did.
Has the grievance been resolved?
They've resolved it, yeah, but they basically said we were in the right.
When did you get the grievance outcome?
That would have been about a month later, so about a month ago.
Okay. I mean, from what you're telling me, they've done enough to give you a constructive dismissal claim. The one area that concerns me slightly, James, is whether you've waited too long before resigning. Because to bring a constructive dismissal claim, you first of all got to show the technical phrase is they're in breach of the term of trust and confidence. The common sense English equivalent of that is they've acted unreasonably or really badly in your case.
Yeah.
You've also got to show you resigned because of that, which you will be, but you've also got to show you resigned within a reasonable period of them doing whatever they did wrong.
Yeah.
And 2 months, if it happened 2 months ago, you're kind of on the cusp of whether a judge would agree that you've waited too long. If you're going to go anyway, do it. If you wouldn't go, I'd be slightly cautious about bringing a constructive dismissal claim and resigning to do so, because I think you would face 50-50 chance of not getting over that hurdle.
Yeah. Do you think it's worth? Do you think it's worth contacting ACAS, seeing if there's discussions that they're willing to have, sort of thing, and negotiate?
If you're going to resign, you need to do it as soon as possible. You can't let any more time drag out.
Okay.
But there's no harm in contacting ACAS and seeing what they say. But don't let that happen. Don't let that take more than a day or two. If you're going to resign, you've got to commit. Every minute you wait now lowers your chances of winning a claim.
Right. Okay. Brilliant.
All right.
Thank you,
James. Thank you so much for the call. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
I wish you well.